Hello, greetings, welcome. I'm coming to you from the jungle. I'm up in the rainforest in Costa Rica, in the southern part of the country, just above Panama on the Caribbean side, just above a little town called Puerto Viejo. And I'm staying at the eco-retreat Samasati, designed for yogis and wellness seekers, and people looking to do a digital detox, or not looking, but having to go through that because there's a lot of disconnect to our typical lives, and a huge invitation from nature to come into the present moments. And I have to say it's easy to do here because of the space that has been created at this gorgeous, gorgeous retreat. We're very tucked away. This is a Shala del Sol that we're in this morning, and it's my favorite shala. We have two shalas. We have a patio next to the pool that we practice at as well, but this is my favorite space. We're surrounded by jungle. There is so much wildlife happening. There is a sense of support around the shala because we're kind of being held and like suspended in this like floating treehouse kind of vibe. It's very magical. I hope everyone I know can come to this space one day. But here we are, sharing the space digitally, and in a time that is very challenging for so many of us around the world, going through major changes and cultural shifts and lifestyle shifts. This is a beautiful thing to be able to come to Sangha and community, even though it is from a distance. But I felt the call to come to the mat and document and share in the hopes that we can find a safe, supported, grounded space for us to navigate what's going on with coronavirus around the world right now. Today is March 19th, I believe, and it's been a few weeks of this ongoing, especially in the United States, and now it's trickling down to South America. So I don't need to explain any of that to you. You guys are well aware of the crises, the global economic crises, and the virus and the danger of what it brings to a certain part of the population. So don't need to expound upon that, but do want to acknowledge that that's going on, and acknowledge that there's a lot of struggles and that people are going through things that are disturbing their root chakra, that space where we feel grounded and home and secure and stable in meeting our basic needs: shelter, work, food, family, all of that. And that's getting disrupted. So that's being felt around the world, that disruption. We're all dealing with it in different ways. Here in Costa Rica, people are losing their jobs. There's a ton of tourism that's based here. Most of the people work in the tourism industry, and they're young. And a lot of them are young with families. And a lot of them work here at Samasati, and I've gotten the unique pleasure to chat with them and connect with them in a really lovely way since I've been here for the last few weeks. And it's been a gift to hear their story, and also just such a reminder that we have to look at what we do have right now. I think there's a lot of panic and disruption to people's lives back home in the US, at least from my community, that people are bored and stuck at home, and having to come up with like creative ways to entertain themselves, and they're having to stock up on extra food just in case things become inaccessible. That's a whole other topic. That kind of overindulging to make sure you're secure. But I think people are doing what they can do to help themselves, their partners, their families. So I honor that, and I also want to bring an awareness to the fact that if you do have the luxury of working from home, or you still have a job despite the economic shift, to say the least, in the last few weeks, just take a moment to honor that that's a gift, and that not everybody has that. I, for one, am taking a lot of time to honor what I have and not get hung up on what I don't have and what's shifting. So that's something I want to bring into today's practice. I also want to bring in this grounded energy to provide ourselves with the, I think there's a monkey, to provide ourselves with a base of support wherever we are, whether we're crashing at a friend's house or a family's house, or we're held up in a hotel in another country, or we're Airbnb-ing somewhere foreign, or we are in our own safe space, in our own familiar safe space. Wherever you are, you can create a practice at home to bring you into a more clear, focused, stable, and secure space. I'm all about using the tools in yoga specifically, not just the asanas and the practice itself, but bringing little pieces of nature into my space, lighting some candles for that grounded fire energy that brings me back to kind of, that warrior self, to remind myself that it is okay and we persist. Incense, of course, I'm a big fan of setting the space in kind of a sensual way, and allowing yourself to bring in elements that bring you into the present moment. We'll work on our breathing this morning to begin class, because for me that is, there is no asana practice without a dedicated breath work practice. So we'll take some time to do that. And I think that alone, that little mini meditation, is a great thing to bring into your life right now, because of the disturbances around us and the importance of coming back to a steady inhale, a detoxifying exhale, counting the breath, monitoring the breath, keeping track of the breath, and using that as your tool to bring you back to the moment each and every time. So to start, coming into a comfortable seated position, you can also grab a block. I'm sitting on a block to lift my hips up a little. I like that because then I have a little bit more support on my legs and my knees specifically. So if you have knee trouble, this block or a rolled up blanket can work very well. And then I am addicted to essential oils. So this one is a Rise. It's an enlightening blend from doTERRA. It's perfect for a morning practice because it gets you awake. It stimulates and allows you to notice the subtleties in the layering of the oils, which to me is another tool to come fully back to this very present moment that we've been given. I think we have some of the capuchin monkeys joining us today. They are a rowdy bunch. They jump and swing and fly and soar and do these crazy trust falls. That is a sight to see. So if I stop and look up, that's what I'm observing. It's like National Geographic here. Wow, wow, wow. I will miss it. I will miss it. Today is my last day here at the retreat because we are closing for a few months. So just taking a few minutes on your own to set your space, maybe light some incense, get your oils. If you have a candle nearby or any of your favorite crystals or any tools that bring you some grounded presence, just set those around you. Grab a mat if you have it. You can also grab a second block and a bolster. It's a nice kind of cushy, long pillow. You can also use like a Tempur-Pedic pillow. That is going to give you that same hard support for some of these postures that we'll use for our yin restorative postures. So yeah, just observing the monkeys. They come very close to the shala sometimes, so it's exciting to see them firsthand. So we'll start by bringing our hands to our knees and closing our eyes to begin with. I want you to start noticing your breath, not putting too much effort into the breath right now. Just notice how your regular breathing is. closing the mouth and trying to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe your breath is shallow and in the chest. Perhaps it's deep and coming from the low belly. Now I want you to start picking up on the sounds that are far, far away from you. Whether you're in a city or out in nature, or you're in an apartment complex or a house with open, breezy windows, wherever you find yourself, try to connect with some distant sounds, some distant subtle sounds that are happening way outside of your space. And then bringing your attention to the room that you're in, the space that you find yourself seated now. What do you hear in this room? Is there an AC whirring? Their computers with their monitors whirring? Is there somebody else making noise in the space? Paying attention very closely to what is happening around you. Now start to connect to the sensations around you, the temperature of the air. Maybe there's a slight breeze. Maybe it's hot. Connecting with the body, bringing awareness to where your ankles and your knees and your hips connect. How do your hands feel against your knees? How does your body feel this morning? Do you feel open and ready to receive? Are you in a place of anxiety, an undertone of fear or uncertainty? It doesn't quite matter where you are or how you're feeling, but bringing a total awareness to what you are feeling. Acknowledging yourself in a direct way. You can even speak the words in your head, saying, I feel frustrated. I feel content. I feel worried. I feel creative. I feel curious. Whatever words come to you in this moment, allow them to be. And then I want you to bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your low belly. I want you to invite a deeper breath. We're going to be doing Dirga breath, pranayama breathing exercise that allows us to connect with the physical experience of the breath. Keeping your eyes closed if you can, or if that's comfortable for you. Starting with an inhale through the nose, acknowledging the rise of the chest, how the belly expands slightly when you start to bring breath into the lower belly. And then on an exhale through the nose, acknowledge how the belly feels when it contracts slightly. The breath washing up through the chest and out through the nose. Bringing this absolute awareness to the rise and fall of the breath in the body. I want you to see if you can relax your shoulders slightly. Seeing if you can bring some relaxed and restorative energy to the hips, where we tend to hold so much. So now using the breath to bring it to other parts of the body where we need to release tension, where we need to acknowledge these sensations that arise without judgment, simply using our breath to make a little extra space to allow us to be open in this asana practice today. I want you to see if you can maybe elongate each inhale. Maybe pausing for a moment at the top of the breath. Exhaling deeply through the nose. Seeing if you can stretch the exhale so it lasts just a little longer. Maybe pausing for a moment at the bottom of the breath. This 3-part breath is a beautiful way to use all of your resources. You're just using your hands. You're just using your breath that comes naturally. But you're allowing these to be your tools to not only cleanse and de-stress, but to allow for a meditation to occur. Allow for peace to occur while there's still thought. You don't have to push all of the noise away. You have to get comfortable to sit with it. That's meditation. For me, what I've been taught and what has served me the most in meditation is the approach that you are not trying to clean and clear this slate and become completely empty. I believe that there's great power and necessity in being able to sit with our shit, no matter where we are, no matter what hurts, no matter what feels amazing. Being able to sit still with it. That is the beauty and the gift of meditation. We start as a beginner each time we come to the mat, each time we come to our seat, to become quiet. That simple reminder will allow you to give yourself grace each time you come to this moment of stillness. The reminder that there's always something going on, something happening, something slightly disturbing or unnerving, or something that just calls our attention. Try to allow all of those things to exist while you provide a space for yourself to be completely whole and present. Through this 3-part belly breath, we allow ourselves to bring acknowledgement to our heart chakra, the space in between the shoulders, the space that holds our vulnerability. It also houses where our availability to love and be loved. Whether or not we have space for love, allowing us to bring in a sense of loving kindness to this practice, this meditation, right here, right now. Bringing loving kindness to the challenges around you, those things that frustrate you so much. Send a little message of loving kindness out. You always have the power to come back to this chakra, to bring even more space and light into this chakra. She is so powerful. We also bring awareness into our root chakra. So where our hand is on our lower belly, this energy center around the hand, behind the lower back, and even beneath you. This whole area houses your root chakra. That area that we identify security and stability with. It's our home life, our partnerships, our work life. It's knowing that we will have enough and that we will be okay. In uncertain times, this chakra can often get shaken up. So we come to the mat, we come to the seat, we come to a place to reconnect, allowing ourselves to feel the groundedness that always exists, that changeless space within us that is always supported, and bringing an awareness to truly knowing this. As we continue to do this 3-part breathing, acknowledging the breath in through the nose, through the chest, and the belly, and then out through the belly, washing up through the chest, out through the nose. We can release our hands down to our knees with our palms open, keeping our eyes closed, and seeing if we can bring the same focus of breath into this posture without the guide of our hands. This practice of stillness is the difference between tuning into fear or tuning into something else. Perhaps it's creativity. Perhaps it's wondering and dreaming and imagining all that can be. Perhaps it's reflection on where you are in life. How are your relationships really doing? Are you really living as truthfully to yourself as you can be? These hard and huge questions will always exist. Don't shy away from them. Don't be afraid of them. Allowing this grounded practice of meditation to let those questions exist within you. Let yourself explore what they mean, and do so with an air of detachment, a practice of observation rather than clinging to. Letting the breath always ground you, so no matter what emotions and feelings arise, you are okay. Come back to that rise and fall of the breath. That beautiful life force, that thing of vitality that gives us life. Acknowledge that you have this opportunity to breathe deep, And if you don't, if you are compromised and having to shift where you are with your breathing because of something you're going through, perhaps it's health, bring awareness to that as well. Recognize that perhaps this isn't easy. That's okay. Continue giving yourself grace as we sit here. To keep your focus on the breath, you can invite a mantra into your practice if you have one that speaks to you. You can also simply think these words. When you take an inhale, say in your head, I am now breathing in. On an exhale, I am now breathing out. We observe our physical form in meditation in a way that allows our edges to be blurred, that allows us to start to become formless as we move through a deeper and more centered focus. Imagine being a space that can hold all sound, allowing yourself to be filled up on what's happening around you. Allowing yourself to hold the sounds, the stimulation, perhaps the distraction, holding them all in one space, not attaching, but acknowledging, allowing yourself to be connected to what's going on around you and within you. Dissolving the form so you are a singular one with everything around you. And drawing in a long inhale through the nose, allowing the lower belly to fill with air. On an exhale, seeing if you can stretch the exhale just a little longer. Bringing one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Once again, reconnecting to our breath. Using this practice as a way to step fully into your exact state, your precise existence at this moment. Using this practice to allow yourself to be nowhere but here. Accepting that that is perfect as it is. Acknowledging that meditation is an imperfect practice of acceptance of ourselves, acceptance of those things out in the world that we cannot change. Only coming to realize that we have control over ourselves. We have control over the energy that we put out into the world. We have control over how creative we get with our solutions to the problems that arise around us and within us. We are our best resource for healing. And although this journey is long and winding and oh so strange, it is rich with opportunity to bring yourself to moments of intense awareness that allow the subtleties of life to live fully within you, allowing you to feel even greatly when there's challenges, to love even harder when it hurts, to breathe through the crises, even when you can't change the outcome. Floating our hands down to our knees. You can pause this video and continue sitting in meditation for 5, 10, 15, 30, 40, 60 minutes if you like. Adjusting your seat as you need to, maybe switching your legs. Perhaps finding yourself in a lying down position, if that better suits you for a longer meditation. I invite you to hold this space that we've shared together and continue deepening your practice, bringing loving kindness to your practice each time. Giving yourself acknowledgement for showing up, for sitting with your shit, for allowing yourself to be vulnerable and shaky and potentially ungrounded, and knowing that that is okay. We start from exactly where we are. On an inhale, hands rise, sweeping the fingers up above you, feeling the gentle graze of the air between the fingers. Hands come together, hands to heart center. Thank you. I look forward to staying connected in our own creative ways. I look forward to hearing how your journey continues with meditation, with mindfulness, with self-love. I look forward to seeing all of your creative solutions to challenging situations. And I look forward to connecting when the healing starts to begin. Just know that your healing is invited to start today. You can start with 5 minutes on the mat, 5 minutes being present within your body and your breath. Thank you for bringing me here and reminding me the power of stillness, the power of connecting to nature, and ultimately the power of deeply connecting with ourselves. Namaste.